Could Cyborg Superman be making his live-action debut in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow? With Zor-El officially cast, this could mean big things for the DC Universe, and we're breaking it all down. Plus, Moana 2 just hit $1 billion at the global box office, and we're looking at this weekend's box office report to see which movies came out on top. Welcome to Movie Mornings, your daily dose of movie news with a cup of coffee. That's right, everybody. Let's grab us a cup to get a drink here. It's a great cup. Happy Monday. Hope y'all are having a wonderful morning today. We're coming a little bit late. Part of me was just delaying it, hoping that maybe there'd be something else to talk about this morning, but there wasn't. No surprise, unfortunately. And if you know, you know. But hope you had a great weekend. And you know what? We're all gonna make it. We're all gonna be here together, talking about movies, getting through whatever horrible things we have to get through are. So don't worry, we're all in this together. We're not locked in there with them. They're locked in there with us. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. You probably don't need to know what I'm talking about. That's fine. Hey, what movies did everybody go watch out this weekend? I went and watched Wolfman. Let me know in the comments what movie you checked out. If you watched any. Very curious. Curious to hear what everybody's been up to. So, before we talk any more about the box office, let's go ahead and touch on this Supergirl story. So, obviously, there's been some fun info coming about Supergirl. I guess they've started filming already. And, we know Jason Momoa is coming back. Well, now we know of at least 2 characters that will also be appearing in it. And one of the actors is kind of a fantastic addition, throwback to the Santa Claus. So very excited for this. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow adds David Krumholtz and Emily Beecham. This is from The Hollywood Reporter from Boris Kitt. Sorry, just had to get another sip of coffee there. House of the Dragon star Millie Alcock is playing Kara Zor-El, the cousin of Superman. Of course, we already knew that. David Krumholtz, who was recently part of the all-star cast of Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, and British actress Emily Beecham have joined the spacefaring cast of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, with Craig Gillespie is directing for Warner Bros. Discovery arm of DC Studios. The feature, which begins shooting this week in Donkey Kong's in DC's UK production hub of Levesden, is inspired by the Tom King and Bilquis Evely comic book miniseries and stars House of the Dragon Millie Alcock playing Kara Zor-El, the cousin of Superman. I have it on my nightstand, everybody. It's made it one step further. I had the book in here, now it's on my nightstand. So it's only a matter of weeks before I actually crack into that thing, so don't you worry. Maybe we'll do a special episode where we break down Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow and see what do we think it's gonna do between the comic and the movie. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, because I think that could be kind of fun, especially when there's a slow news day. Let's see. It's unclear how faithful the script is to the comic, which eschewed the traditional good versus bad tropes and instead was a cosmic character piece spanning many worlds and alien cultures. The Eisner-nominated 2021 story was told from the perspective of a young alien girl named Ruthie, who enlists the aid of Supergirl in a quest of revenge against Krim of the Yellow Hills, the man who killed her father. That sounds insane. If that's a 1-to-1 adaptation, that's going to be a lot to take in for the second DC Universe project. Movie, obviously Peacemaker and Creature Commandos is always, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Eve Radley is on the call sheets as Ruthie, while Matthias Schoenertz is I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm terrible at these names. Jason Momoa is due to cameo as alien bounty hunter Lobo. So those 2 characters are at least in it. That's interesting. Krumholtz and Beecham will play Supergirl's parents. The project was one of the first features developed by DC Studios, headed by James Gunn and Peter Safran. The duo unveiled as part of the initial slate. Alcock was picked as Supergirl almost a year ago, and while first appears in Superman movie, in Gunn's Superman movie, Supergirl gets underway this winter and will shoot in the UK. Krumholtz has been acting since his teenage years, notably appearing in The Santa Claus. Oh, wait. Bernard, everybody. Bernard. Let's see. I'm lost where I was. Later starring for 6 seasons in CBS's crime drama Numbers in the late aughts. He played Nobel Prize winner Isidore Rabi in Nolan's Oppenheimer. He was really good in that. I remember watching it. Me and Maggie was watching Oppenheimer. And was just sitting there, was like, holy crap, is that Bernard? And then also Josh Hartnett. I mean, anytime the heart pops up on the screen, you gotta take note. Beecham may be best known for starring in Netflix's mind-bending series 1899 and appeared in the Guy Ritchie thriller The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal. This month, she co-stars in historical epic William Tell. I was gonna play a sound effect. I don't really have a joke for William Tell. I was gonna maybe say Run and Tell that. Krumholtz is repped by Paradigm and Brookside Management, while Beecham is repped by CAA and Entertainment 360. So you may be wondering, hey, that said, what about Cyborg Superman? Where's that at? Well, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary friends, let me tell you here. Okay, I got a couple things I want to talk about as far as this Cyborg Superman. Sure. Is it most likely that it's just going to be Zor-El and Lara? Is it Lara? No, wait, that's Superman's mom. It doesn't matter. More than likely, that's going to be the case, right? We're going to see Kara, and we're probably going to see a similar situation to, Kal-El being sent off world and stuff. I would imagine we're going to get a better understanding of how Supergirl was a teenager on Krypton. She had already lived on Krypton for a little bit, and so her experience of being sent away from Krypton is much different than Superman's. I imagine that's what we're gonna see. However, if we put on our fun hats, we can speculate to maybe some other amazing things, which I think we all could use a little speculation today, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking anyway. I would like to present to the court Exhibit A. All right, so this is the cover. If you're watching the video version of this, Supergirl number 23 from the New 52 says the living horror of Cyborg Superman. Down at the bottom, you can't really see it on here, but it was Cyborg Superman. And this Cyborg Superman was the New 52 version. For those of you who don't know, Cyborg Superman, of course, was from the Death of Superman, Reign of Superman storyline. So Superman dies, everyone's like, oh my god, Superman died, I can't believe it. And then a year later, I think, they do a whole bunch of comics, funeral for a friend, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh my god, Superman's back. But it wasn't just Superman, there was actually 4 Superman. There was, of course, Cyborg Superman is one of them. There was the Eradicator, who was Superman with yellow sunglasses. There was Steel, most notably portrayed by Shaquille O'Neal. And, of course, Superboy, which is not to be confused with Superman when he was a boy. This is the Superboy that is Connor Kent, the half clone of Superman and Lex Luthor. They put their DNA together, boink, and then they shook it up, and out came Superboy, and he had a leather coat and stuff. Anyway, they brought all 4 back, and there was which one's the real Superman? And it turned out none of them were. That part doesn't matter. So that's where Cyborg Superman came from. He was very much Terminator 2 inspired. He looked like the T-800. When half his face is missing. Then, in the New 52, they were like, hey, we're going to reboot the entire universe, and we're going to rework some of the things that worked, some of the things that didn't work. And one of the things they reworked was Cyborg Superman. And in this version of Cyborg Superman, it is actually Zor-El. So Zor-El Kara's dad, I guess like the planet explodes. I read it, but I read it when it first came out, and this was like 2013, 2012, 2011, somewhere around there. So it's been a hot minute since I read it. I mean, at least a decade. But you know, Krypton explodes. I want to say Brainiac shows up. I think Zor-El was able to like put a bubble around Kindor, the city, and like kept people alive, but they were like floating on an asteroid or whatever. And then I'm pretty sure Brainiac shows up and like takes Zor-El and then like messes with him, like reconfigures him, gives him like all the crap, like the nanotech and stuff, messes with his mind and turns him into Cyborg Superman, and then sends him to like fight Supergirl, as you can kind of see in the cover here. It was interesting. Okay, like I like the idea of them changing it from Hank Crenshaw, who was basically there. I don't want to get into all that, but basically it was like the Fantastic Four. I'll leave it at that. There's much more to it, but essentially 4 people went up into space. They came back and they were all like messed up and stuff, but instead of becoming heroes, they became villains, one of which was Hank Henshaw, and then later he became the Cyborg Superman. That is a very stupid abridged version of it. I'm sure there's a video on YouTube you can look up that'll tell you all about that. But I like the idea of it being Zor-El. And I just like, I've liked Cyborg Superman forever. Like I grew up, I loved Terminator 2. And so the idea of there being a Terminator version of Superman just, when I was like 8, blew my freaking mind. It was insane. So anyway, I don't know, right? I was like, New 52. I mean, they've also rebooted the DC universe again since then. So I mean, like, how possible is this that we could get, Cyborg Superman Zor-El in this movie, and that he would be played by Bernard, right? How likely is that? Well, let me bring up Exhibit B or 2. I can't remember which one is that. I'm gonna say Exhibit B. And that is the cover of Supergirl Rebirth. Number 2, this is when they rebooted the universe for DC Rebirth back probably like 5 years ago at this point. But that's when like the whole Watchmen crossover where Dr. Manhattan and Superman fought for a little bit. The Button, the comedian's Button showed up. That sounded like I said shut up. I meant I said showed up. So this is, they rebooted the universe, and guess what? What do we have here, everybody? Once again, Supergirl in her rebirth outfit, not to be confused with her New 52. Like they were kind of taking her back to standards here, fighting Cyborg Superman yet again. Zor-El, Cyborg Superman. And this is number 2. So I mean, they had every opportunity to be like, no, you know what? We're done with that story. It didn't work. We're taking it back. We're not gonna worry about it. But they didn't, and they decided to leave it at this. So, is it possible that we get Cyborg Superman in the Supergirl movie? Probably not, right? Like, I would say there's a 90% chance that does not happen. However, I think it's much more fun to speculate and wonder, what if it did? And what would that look like? And if it doesn't happen in this one, does that mean it could happen in the next one? I mean, I've not looked into this. I saw this story this morning, put it in here, we're talking it through ourselves, okay? So I've not looked into it. Maybe everybody hates this. Maybe it's already been retconned again. I don't know. But what I do know is it would be fun. And my God, sometimes I just need to have a little bit of fun and think about something ridiculous and insane that could happen in a fictional world, instead of the ridiculous and insane stuff that happens in the real world. But what do you think about Zor-El's casting and the possibility of Cyborg Superman? Let me know your theories in the comments below. I would love to know if you all are in agreement with this, or if you think that this is just absolutely nonsense and definitely won't happen. Who can say, right? Not me. No, not me. I'll tell you that right now. So, Shifting gears from Supergirl, let's go ahead and take a look at how the box office shaped up this weekend. There were some big wins and a few surprises, so let's see what's making waves in theaters right now. Waves. That was because there's Moana 2 news. Waves. Don't worry about it. We'll be cutting back and forth between two articles, so luckily they're both written by Rebecca Rubin. We all love a good Rebecca Rubin article, am I right? Comes from Variety. Mufasa keeps the crown as Keke Palmer's One of Them Days beats Wolfman in the box office. I feel like I should have a soundboard for Wolfman. Like, just like anytime I say Wolfman, that'd be fun. I could do that. I could actually record it. I'll have that set up for tomorrow. He won't. Heading into the long weekend, Universal's Wolfman reboot was projected to climb to number 1 on domestic box office charts, yet Sony's One of Them Days, an R-rated buddy comedy starring Keke Palmer and SZA, may have the last laugh. One of Them Days opened at number 2 on the higher end of expectations with 11.6 million from 2,600 North American venues over the weekend and 14.2 million through the extended Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Against a trim $14 million budget, the well-reviewed funny film is shaping up to be a major commercial win for Sony. Meanwhile, Wolfman debuted below forecasts in third place with $10 million from 3,300 theaters over the weekend and $12.5 million through the holiday on Monday. The movie cost just $25 million to produce, which should be a relief to the studios because critics and audiences weren't fans of the horror remake. Wolfman was saddled with a C- grade on CinemaScore and 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, we gotta talk about this. I went and watched Wolfman. I really enjoyed it. A lot. C-, that's insane. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Maybe I just have bad taste in movies, y'all. Like, I don't know anymore. Because I feel like most of the time, like, unless it's like a universally adored movie, I feel like I like stuff that people are like, oh, that sucked. And not even like a good suck. Like, not even like poo, blood, and honey, right? Like, I mean, it's like, I think Wolfman was good. Now, I will say, we did miss maybe the first like 10 minutes of it. So there's a chance that the first 10 minutes of it sets a tone that we didn't feel. But I mean, it's from the same person that made The Invisible Man, the remake from a couple years ago, which was awesome. If you've not seen The Invisible Man, I loved it. I love the idea of taking like a domestic abuse take on The Invisible Man. I feel like that's a smart way to handle this. And plus, this movie I was looking into, it was written during the Big C, over the past 2020, and so like you can kind of feel that in this. Like, it's very like disease oriented, and it's a very small film. There's maybe 4 characters. I mean, there's other side characters that pop up, but I mean very, very minor roles. But like the majority of the movie is like 4 people. Honestly, the majority of the movie is 3 people. So like, and it's in this like secluded location, and I don't know, it felt to me, I loved it. Like, it was pretty gross in some parts. There was some fingernail situation going on. They said they took inspiration on the transformation from The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum The Fly. And like, it all seemed very practical. It didn't look fake. And honestly, they didn't even make them look like wolves, which I thought was a good call. Like, they just kind of looked like messed up a little bit. I mean, a lot messed up for sure. So I mean, I thought for a modern take on Wolfman, I thought it was really good. Like, I would recommend it. I don't know. I think it's totally worth watching. I had a lot of fun. That's it. I had a lot of fun. I don't know what to tell you. Overall, it's among the slowest Martin Luther King holiday weekends on record, with roughly 100 million across all films and theaters. Neither of the newcomers, Wolfman or One of Them Days, had enough bite to dethrone Disney's Mufasa The family film ceded the crown last weekend to Lionsgate Den of Thieves 2 Pantera, but returned to number 1 with 11.7 million from 3,500 theaters and 15 million over the 5-day holiday. Those ticket sales mark one of the lowest hauls to ever claim first place over the Martin Luther King holiday stretch. After a soft start ahead of Christmas time, Mufasa has enjoyed a reversal in theatrical fortunes with 209 million domestic and 588 million globally to date. Sorry, I had to get another drink. One of them days should get a boost from word of mouth after scoring a promising A- on Cinema Score, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Which, hey, well done. You know, just because I liked Wolfman doesn't mean that one of them days can't also be good. 97%, that's awesome. So I might actually have to go check this out. The film follows two roommates who race against the clock to avoid eviction after one of their boyfriends steals their rent money. Though theatrical comedies have been an endangered breed, Sony is one of the rare major studios to keep the genre alive. This is an excellent opening, says David A. Gross, who runs the movie consulting firm Franchise Entertainment Research. The 3-day figure is double the average for the genre. At a cost of $14 million, the film is going to be very profitable when it finishes in all ancillary markets. Wolfman also stumbled internationally with $4.83 million from 53 markets, bringing its global tally to $15 million. Chris Rabbit stars in director Lee Wannell's new take on the 1941 film about a man who gets bitten by a mysterious predator and begins to transform into a dangerous creature that soon jeopardizes the lives of his family. Wannell, whose writing credits include Saw and Insidious, steered Universal's 2020 horror remake The Invisible Man to sleeper hit status and helped to revive the studio's flailing monsterverse. After trying, never forget the Dark Universe. Okay? It has gone too soon. R.I.P. The P stands for Pie. After trying and failing to create an interconnected universe based on its vast catalog of classical monsters, Universal has opted to focus on lower budget standalone features. Everything just reloaded on me. That's always fun. Let's see here. Man, it was a win, but 2023's Renfield with Nicolas Cage as Dracula, Nicholas Hoult as an unhinged henchman, majorly misfired with 26 million globally. Director James Wan will take the next stab with a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake. Lee Wannell is a major horror talent, but audiences aren't enthusiastic. It's a miss, but it's not a disaster. Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with the haul that it took. It's a great movie, though, in my opinion. What do I know? I liked Craven, so. Elsewhere on the box office charts, Paramount's Sonic the Hedgehog 3 placed fourth with 8.6 million. The kid-friendly threequel has grossed 218 million in North America and 420 million globally. Those ticket sales are officially higher than its predecessors, so it's now the highest earning Sonic movie. Den of Thieves 2 rounded out the top 5. Paramount's musical biopic Better Man, also in its second weekend of release, suffered a brutal 76% collapse from its tragic $1 million debut. Meanwhile, Moana 2 crossed a major box office milestone with $1 billion in global ticket sales. The animated sequel was originally developed. Yeah, we're going to get into all of that about that. I was just trying to see if it said what place it was in. And yeah, it doesn't really say. So, since we're talking about Moana 2, we're going to jump over to Rebecca Rubin's other story for us. Just kind of continuing the box office discussion here. This is Moana 2, once destined for streaming, crosses $1 billion at the global box office. This is via Rebecca Rubin, again, over at Variety. Let's see here. Originally conceived as a television show for streaming, is officially $1 billion box office smash. The animated sequel has generated $445 million domestically and $567 million internationally, bringing its grand total of $1.009 billion globally after 8 weeks of release. Moana 2 is Disney's third 2024 release to join the $1 billion club, following Inside Out 2 and Deadpool Wolverine, capping off a stellar 12 months of the film studio. None of its rivals fielded a single $1 billion release in 2024, though Universal was closest with Despicable Me 4, making $969 million. Moana 2 opened on November 28th. Yep, the windfall from Moana 2 for both Disney and movie theater owners should be encouraging, illustration in favor of theatrical because the follow-up was developed as a series for Disney Plus before it was retooled into a feature-length film. Now the film will continue to earn riches through home entertainment windows before landing on Disney's own streaming platform. The first Moana was modestly successful with $680 million globally in 2016, but the oceanic adventure exploded in popularity on Disney Plus, where it remained one of the most watched streaming titles. Disney is also developing a live-action remake of the original for release in 2026. Outsized ticket sales for the animated sequel likely mean a third installment, with the plucky Wayfinder won't be too far off on the horizon either. So, Moana 2, $1 billion. That's a lot of seashells. Am I right? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I will say, it does make me happy that Moana 2, which some could see as we'll say progressive film, that it's number one, or not number one, but they made $1 billion. That's wonderful. That's wonderful news, you know. God knows we need wonderful news. Yeah, box office. I really hate that about Wolfman. Sorry, I'm like really stuck on that. It's really good. Like, it's definitely worth seeing. I'd say it'll probably be streaming, probably hit Peacock in like a day and a half. You know how they do. But, you know, we got some other stuff coming out this month. So there'll be some good things. Good times are here to stay, everybody. Don't even front, dogs. It's going to be great, you know? We got it. We got Zor-El joining Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And the big questions remain. Could this mean we finally are getting to see Cyborg Superman on the big screen? Let me know. Plus, congrats to Moana 2 for crossing $1 billion. And to all the new releases lining up the box office this weekend. You all did a great job for everybody except Wolfman. Wolfman, you make me very sad. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss your daily dose of movie news with Movie Mornings. You don't have to hit the bell. In fact, don't even subscribe. Hit the like button. That is the only thing you can do. That would be wonderful. That would help me a lot. You know, if you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. That tells YouTube, hey, they liked this. Then honestly, that supersedes even subscriptions. So there you go. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. Apologies for the late start, but hey, it's gonna be okay. We'll be back again tonight. We're playing what will more than likely be the final part of our Sonic Adventure playthrough. We beat it last week. Now we're just going to play through a few of the extra levels as Super Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and Big the Cat, Amy, and all that. So come hang out with us. That'll happen live tonight at 9 right here on youtube.com/hopefullyawesome. But that's going to wrap it up for me, everybody. Thanks for watching. And as always, have a hopefully awesome day. Goodbye.